In 2021, Facebook ads saw a drastic increase in advertising costs. And in this video, you're going to learn what are those key driving factors. Welcome back to Marketing Hustle, where we simplify marketing so that you can accelerate your business growth. And in this new series called Review and Publish, I'm going to be deep diving into the latest changes impacting the digital advertising ecosystem with a very large focus on performance marketing platforms like Facebook ads. I did an analysis on some of the clients at our agency, and this is what I learned. I mean, obviously we've seen CPM costs skyrocket on Facebook and Instagram, but when I looked at the original numbers and I looked at 2020 as an example, so I looked 2019 versus 2020, the entire year for our clients, there was a 47% increase in CPM. So clearly things were getting more expensive. But then when I looked at this data and compared 2019 versus 2021, there was an 84% increase in CPM. So the trend continues. Things are getting more expensive. Now, that's not a surprise. If you're watching this video and you've ran any Facebook ads and you've been running ads historically before the pandemic, you've probably noticed this. It's impacted most industries. And I'm not talking about specifically during holidays, because we know costs just tend to go up across the board during holidays. But this is, again, looking at an entire calendar year. So the question you're asking, and the question I'm hoping to answer, is why this is happening. And the reason why is it's actually pretty simple. If you think about the way advertising works on Facebook, it's the inventory, it's people, it's users. So the more users, the cheaper things get. The less users, the more expensive things get. That's one factor. So let's take a look at what happened during the pandemic. So at the beginning of the pandemic, people were spending more time online. So that's more users, more inventory. That means things can get cheaper. Also, at the same time, a lot of advertisers, especially advertisers with physical stores, stopped advertising because people couldn't even go to the stores for a period of time. So there was a decrease in demand on the platform. So more inventory available, decrease in competition because there's less advertisers. So that made CPMs extremely cheap at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, at some point, tons of businesses that weren't even ever advertising on Facebook at all realized, oh wow, I need to start advertising online. I need to use digital. Maybe they started doing Google ads. They definitely started doing Facebook ads. So a ton of businesses started to advertise that never had advertised before. And at the same time, during the middle of the pandemic, you had still people spending a ton of time at home and online. The only difference is that now we see some new advertisers that previously weren't on the platform. So we start to see a little bit of increase of CPMs. Now, and the pandemic, I don't know if we should really call it post-pandemic, but I'm just saying now in 2021, as I shoot this, I'm in December. You're probably watching this in 2022. What we're starting to see as the COVID-19 pandemic has started to dwindle down is that people are doing regular activities again. They're going outdoors. They're not spending as much time indoors anymore. So therefore, they're spending less time online, less time on these apps. At the same time, if we look at it from the advertiser perspective, you have all these new advertisers that previously just weren't on the platform. And then now you have all the other old advertisers, the legacy advertisers that have ramped back up what they were spending. And that now creates the situation where there's less inventory, but now the demand has increased. So this is fundamentally the dynamic that's happening. And if you've studied macro or microeconomics, these are concepts, supply and demand, that you come across a lot. And this is what's happening. It's this balance of inventory and demand. And unfortunately for advertisers, it's working against you right now.